Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
The Print Off the Cuff, presented by IIFL Wealth and Asset Management, corporate partner AU Small Finance Bank, in association with global insurance brokers, airline partner SpiceJet, in alliance with Indraprasth Apollo Hospitals.
You know what? If there is one thing the journalists cannot complain about these days, it is about the paucity of news. There is much too much news and much too much news which is not good news, particularly with this pandemic making a comeback in such a brutal way. So all our front pages, all our prime time, everything is filled with negative news. Everything is filled with gloom and doom. In fact, even your TV debates, Tutu Meme is all about the virus. So in this situation, one more important thing besides your medication and besides the masks, which are very important, everybody please make sure that this is the best vaccine. So, wherever possible, we should also evangelize this message. Please use a mask, because even if you have the vaccines, you still need the mask for yourself to protect yourself and others. So in that situation, and your medications if need be, and the marvelous doctors, nurses, everybody, one more antidote is needed. And that antidote is a break from all this negative news. And what is better than to give us a break from this negative news than great music, great film music, great lyrics. I said film music in particular because classical music, I know it's fantastic, बट हम सबके पास सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं है उसको समझने का. मेरे पास तो कमी है. आई कांट टेल वन रागा फ्रॉम द अदर. आप जो कहेंगे मैं मान जाऊंगा उसको. So Hindi film music, which is so crucial to our lives, and there we have the opportunity of talking about somebody who, if I mentioned his name to you, a lot of you, particularly those born in the last 30, 40 years, which is a lot of Indians, will say, ye kaun? If you will say ये कौन है, तो फिर मैं आपसे पूछूंगा कि मुझे बताइए आजकल जो हिंदी फिल्मों में गाने लोग लिखते हैं उनमें से कौन-कौन है जिनके नाम आपको याद? Chances are that you will not remember many names. Some might know Vishal Bhardwaj, some might know Prasun Joshi, some might know Swanand Kirkare, but nobody that a lot of people will remember. Then I tell you, do you know somebody called Anand Bakshi? The chances are, again, if you are this generation, born in last 40 years in millennial, you will say, Anand Bakshi? Chances are, कौन आनंद बख्शी? फिर मैं आपसे बोलूंगा या मैं हम करूंगा, सावन का महीना पवन करे शोर, जियर रे बोले ऐसे जैसे मनमा नाचे मोर. तो आप बोलेंगे अरे भाई क्या गाना है. और साथ में आपको ये भी समझ याद आ जाएगा कि आपने कई बार देखा होगा, जैसे चैनल्स मैं देखता हूँ लोग सब वो देखते हैं, कोई माने ना माने, ये जो मस्ती टाइप चैनल जो होती है हिंदी फिल्म म्यूजिक की, कि सुनील दत्त और नूतन बोट पर जा रहे हैं और गाना गा रहे हैं. और ऐसे ही फिर आई कैन ब्रिंग यू टू अदर सॉन्ग. सो इनफैक्ट एज समबडी हु वाज बोर्न इन mid-50s, late mid-50s, who was a teenager in the 60s and 70s, Anand Bakshi, the lyricist, was central to our lives. Because you know what a colleague of mine said the other day, that the best music, in fact, she said that when she saw this advertisement of Levi jeans, I think where Deepika Padukone is featuring, where a famous 80s hit is played. That is the Usha Uthup hit, Awwa Awwa. And she said this was 80s music was the best music. And I said the best music was the music that coincided with our teenage years. And all of us have the best memories of that. That applies to everybody except the Beatles. And now I think it looks like also Boney M after these Kerala doctors have done. So Anand Bakshi, I can tell you about more of Anand Bakshi, more of his songs that you will remember. अब आप मुझे पूछेंगे कि आप आनंद बख्शी पर क्या कर रहे हैं, लोग कहेंगे कितने बूढ़े हो आप, तो हम बोलेंगे कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना. फिर आप पूछेंगे किसने लिखा था, मैं पूछूंगा किसने लिखा था, तो उसका जवाब होगा आनंद बख्शी. तो आनंद बख्शी unfortunately is no more with us. His son Rakesh Anand Bakshi has now done a fantastic job. He's produced a book on his father's life. It's not a classical memoir, it's a book on his father's creative life with music, lyrics, and frankly, when I read it, then as I see music of every year, that year of my childhood, my teen years comes back. And I can tell you, a lot of you are still humming the same song. So after that long introduction, because we are talking about something really interesting, I hand you over to Rakesh Anand Bakshi. So Rakesh, ये book लिखने का ख्याल कहाँ से आया? We'll talk in Hindi as well as English because the lyrics are Hindi.
Okay. So good evening, Namaste ji, Shekhar, how are you? And I'm glad, I'm very happy to be here. Bakshi Saab could not make it to your show, but I made it to your show thanks to Bakshi Saab only. And when my father passed away in 2002, I was very emotional because I didn't consider myself a great son. I was a good son, but I knew at the back of my mind throughout my young adult days that I can be better. But I think because of immaturity, because of lack of patience, because of lack of understanding of the world, not just a parent relationship, but also the world, you tend to. I sometimes blamed my failures on my dad. I sometimes blamed my failures on some shortcomings that our relationship had, which all generation, the generation gap or whatever we want to name that. So at the back of my mind, I knew that I've been a better son, but I did try, but my immaturity would overwhelm me. And then I would have fights with my father. I would have differences with him. So when he passed away, I was so full of, you can say maybe guilt, that could be a word that I could use, that there was a certain level of guilt that I want to do something for this man that will not just repair my relationship with him, but also, so people should come to know about his journey to his songs, because they talk about his songs, they talk about his mukharas and his antaras and the movie and how well he wrote in context to the story, to the situation, to the character. But there was no information anywhere out there about his childhood, his parents, his mother, his family, how he came from Rawalpindi to India as a refugee, how he joined the army, why he joined the army. Much before the army in 1944, before partition, he was in the Royal Indian Navy. In Karachi, posted at Karachi. The mutiny took place. He took part in the mutiny, and he was dismissed from service. Because he would say that the British commanding officer who dismissed me from service did me a very big favor, because he told me, "Ke you are just 14 years old. If I arrest you for taking part in the mutiny, your life will be ruined. So I will not arrest you, but I will dismiss you only because of your age, 14." And so there are so many stories that are connected to his life, and I thought that I must bring the story out. And I thought that if I don't write this memoir now, about 1 month after he passed away, I will perhaps never feel what I'm feeling right now, because I know from my experience that feelings die, and even memories fade. So I thought I'm so charged today, missing my dad so much. I'm feeling so obligated to do something for him. So I must write this. I must write this biography today, right now. And in about 2 months' time, I wrote about 130 pages of his life story. Luckily, I had lots of literature on him to go with. I had a lot of stories from him, which he would narrate to us. Well, he loved his whiskey at night. At 9 p.m. sharp, he would open his red label or his black label, as time went by. So I had all those memories, and I thought I must, bring them down on paper. So over the last 18 years, I wrote almost 1,500 pages on my father on my computer. Wherever I came across a feature, an article, a fan's note, a fan's emotion, a fan's story, or something on the radio, something on television, I would go and write it down on my computer, including your article, your feature, which you wrote once a long time back on my
In fact, I do often use lyrics from Hindi films to make my point in my sort of deadly boring articles. This was the article sent me a link for, because you used it on your Facebook page. About the judiciary. And that was from Dilip Kumar film. इस दुनिया में है दुनिया वाले बड़ा मुश्किल है इंसाफ करना, बड़ा आसान है देना सजाएं, बड़ा मुश्किल है पर माफ करना.
Correct, yeah, right. So that's how. So I was very keen, and so when the pandemic happened, And I had signed a contract with my publisher, Penguin, 2 years back to publish the book. So when the pandemic started, I got even more desperate, and I thought these times are never going to end. My dad's story will never be told. So I told them that if you don't publish this book within 1 year, I'm putting this book out on the internet for free because I want a story told. So they said, no, we'll publish it within a year. You send us the final draft. So those 1,500 pages which I had written, I put everything aside and I started writing 10 hours to 12 hours a day. And in 1 month, I wrote 350 to 400 pages. And I sent it to Penguin, and that's the book you have in your hand today.
This is fantastic. And you know what? Your late father, he did look a lot more like an army officer or army veteran than a poet, because, just put a little mooch on this face and he could talk. So he was in the army and he was a Fauji.
Yeah, Fauji, that is the word you should use. Fauji, हम फौजी हैं.
फौजी है, इसलिए विस्की भी justified है थोड़ी सी, खास करके उस जमाने में. So, in your recollection, and also in this book, I will tell you my favorite from his early songs, which is the one that you think really stood out, which was his breakout song.
His breakout song was, I think, Sawan Ka Mahina Pavan Kare Sor. That was a song which he said he became popular after Jab Jab Phool Khile.
But कौन भूल सकता है, एक था गोल वाली,
एक थी बुलबुल. Yeah. So that film was the breakout film for him. When people across, when the film industry noticed him. The film industry noticed him in Mehndi Lagi Mere Haath, 2 or 3 years before Jab Jab Phool Khile. But they really realized that this guy can write after Jab Jab Phool Khile. But he still didn't believe that he has become popular or that people know him across the country. But when Milan released, and he got a lot of praise for his work, he still didn't believe that he has arrived. I mean, what people were calling him arrived in their own terms at that time. What happened was he was traveling by the Punjab Mail. He was going to, I think, Delhi or Lucknow for some work, whatever reason. And
Firozpur to Bombay.
Okay.
Punjab Mail.
Okay, so I think it was the Frontier Mail. The Frontier Mail, I think.
Right.
And in the middle of the night, the train stopped at some obscure village, obscure place. There was no electricity, there was no light, there was nothing, not even the kerosene lantern, that hurricane lantern. And over there, in the middle of the night, he saw a fakir sitting on the ground in that that railway station and singing Sawan Ka Mahina Pavan Kare Sor. And that's when he realized that, oh my God, if my song can be sung in this obscure village by a fakir and help him eat his 2 meals a day, by singing, if he's earning some money through my song, and in a place where no film brochure has reached, no film hoarding has reached, no film star has gone to inaugurate the film. अगर ऐसे गांव में मेरा कोई एक फकीर गाना गा रहा है और 2 वक्त की रोटी कमा रहा है, आनंद बख्शी तू वाकई में हिट हो गया. That is
आपको पता है राकेश, हिंदी में कहते हैं जहां ना पहुंचे रवि वहां पहुंचे कवि, कि where even the rays of the sun cannot reach the poet's voice. So this is pretty much a case of that. Now Milan had, besides this, many other great songs which are even now sung and remembered and hummed. One of those was a kind of lullaby that an adult sings to another adult.
My God! Oh, that song.
राम करे ऐसा हो जाए, मेरी निंदिया तुझे मिल जाए, मैं जागूं तू सो जाए. Now, I know that you write about this in the book because contrary to the impression you might have had, these are the kind of books I read page to page, first page to the last page. That's my kind of reading. And you say that these words were something that your father sang to you children by way of a lullaby.
Yeah.
So what recollection?
So my when people ask me, which is your fondest moment of your father of you with your father, तो लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं कि सबसे अच्छा वक्त कौन सा था आपके पिताजी के साथ. तो मुझे तो एक ही वक्त याद आता है, बहुत याद आता है कि मैं पता नहीं मेरी उम्र क्या थी, शायद 3 साल का था या 2.5 साल का होगा, because I think memories begin from age 3. But I think I was around 2.5, 3 years old, and my father had the habit. वो जब रात को घर आते थे कोई पार्टी से या फिल्म फंक्शन से या काम से, आई डोंट नो कहाँ से आते थे, मैं तो बहुत छोटा था, बहुत लेट आते थे और मैं सो जाता था. लेकिन मैं सोया हुआ होता था, लेकिन फिर भी आगे मुझे थपथपाते थे सर पे। और उनका जो उनके यू नो ही हैड वेरी थिक फिंगर्स, उनके जो हाथ है, इट वाज अ वेरी बिग हैंड, यू नो ही वाज 6 फुटर पंजाबी फ्रॉम रावलपिंडी, ही हैड बिग हैंड्स, थिक फिंगर्स, and so in spite of a big hand and his thick fingers, his fingers on my eyelids were like cotton. They were soft as cotton, and I would wake up, you know, because he would sing. Now I don't remember which song he used to sing, but I do remember he used to sing to me. And when I used to wake up, he used to get embarrassed and he used to go away. So I realized that when I wake up, this fellow goes away. So I would pretend I'm sleeping because I wanted that moment to last longer. So
And
that's my most fond memory of my dad.
And that became the lullaby of generations.
Perhaps, yeah.
उसमें एक और भी था, मुबारक हो सबको समाये सुहाना। मैं खुद
Oh yes. That Mukhra was written when they went to see the Tamil or Telugu, the South Indian film version, and they walked out of the theater, the preview hall. He, Lakshmikant, and Pyarelal, they three came out, and there was a pan wala outside. I think there was a very famous pan wala outside Tardeo, famous the studio, where perhaps they saw the movie of Mahalakshmi. So there was a fixed pan wala. They would go and have pan, three of them. And what they Bakshi Sahab said, मुबारक हो सबको समाये सुहाना, मैं खुश हूँ मेरे आंसू पे ना जाना, because Lakshmi ji said that मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि हम तीनों एक साथ इस फिल्म में काम कर रहे हैं. So that's when my dad wrote this lyrics, this Mukhra.
Oh, I think what a wonderful story. And your father and Lakshmikant Pyarelal was some partnership, 300 films.
Yeah.
Right?
More than 303. Yeah.
303.
Many unreleased, many unreleased, unpublished.
Many unreleased, and the people forget that some of these films actually launched great careers. Rajesh Khanna, for example. What would Rajesh Khanna be without Do Raaste?
Yeah, but when I asked my father, and when people have asked my father the same question, you know what he would say? कि राजेश खन्ना ने मेरे गाने गाए इसलिए हिट हुए, किशोर कुमार ने मेरे गाने गाए इसलिए हिट हुए, शक्ति सामंता ने अच्छी पिक्चराइजेशन की इसलिए हिट हुई. When I asked Rajesh Khanna, I'll tell you one story. When my dad passed away, जब बख्शी साहब गुजर गए ना, तो उनकी बॉडी हमारे लिविंग रूम में पड़ी थी, और काका राजेश खन्ना जी नीचे खड़े थे बिल्डिंग में, and he was not coming up. He was standing down very quietly in one corner, not socializing, not talking to anybody. And somebody asked him that, काका आप तो किसी के मैयत पे जाते नहीं है, and हमने सुना है कि आप कहीं भी नहीं जाते किसी की मैयत पे, तो आप यहाँ कैसे हैं आज? You know what Rajesh Khanna साहब जी said? He said कि ये आदमी ना, इसने मेरी जिंदगी बना दी. But when I asked my dad, he would say नहीं, मेरे गाने इसने गाए इसलिए हिट हुए.
नहीं, लेकिन उसमें बिंदिया चमकेगी, इतना सिंपल गाना अभी तक लोग गाते हैं, और वो जनरेशंस के लिए गाना है.
Yeah.
और ये भी बात ठीक है कि उस फिल्म में कुछ गाने, एक गाना किशोर कुमार ने गाया था जो बहुत हिट हुआ था, खिजा के फूल पे आती कभी बहार नहीं, मेरे नसीब में है दोस्त तेरा प्यार नहीं. तो वो and I know this from talking with other people of his generation, that he was very self-effacing, because his period coincided with great lyricists and poets. There was Sahir Ludhianvi, there was Majrooh Sultanpuri,
Shakil
Badayuni,
Hasrat
Jaipuri. No, but even if you go right back, I mean, see, hum dono, great lyrics were written in that period. So he had a lot of competition, but he is the only one who transcended the period from the great decades of Hindi film lyrics to A.R. Rahman.
Yeah, 96 composers. He's worked with 96 composers.
Right. So
and 250 directors.
So between LPs, the transition from long play to A.R. Rahman.
Yeah.
How did he handle that?
I remember he would say that I don't believe in camps. I don't believe in camp. मैं कैंपगिरी में believe नहीं करता हूँ. मुझे प्रोड्यूसर या डायरेक्टर या स्टोरी पसंद आनी चाहिए. I remember when Tanuja Chandra told me that when I met Bakshi Sahab for the first time for my film Dushman, I was the first time director. और मैंने बख्शी साहब से कहा कि बख्शी साहब, मैं महेश भट्ट जी के वहां से आई हूँ और मैं एक फिल्म बना रही हूँ, मेरी पहली फिल्म है और हमारा बजट बहुत कम है, तो आई डोंट थिंक वी कैन अफोर्ड यू, लेकिन मेरी बड़ी ख्वाहिश है बचपन से कि मैं आपसे साथ एक दिन काम करना चाहती हूँ. तो शी टोल्ड मी, योर डैड टोल्ड मी, बख्शी साहब टोल्ड मी कि किसने तुम्हें कहा कि आनंद बख्शी पैसों के लिए काम करता है, आनंद बख्शी स्टोरी के लिए काम करता है. बट ही ऑल्सो टोल्ड मी द सेम टाइम ऑन द फ्लिप साइड कि मैंने कई फिल्में पैसों के लिए की, किचन चलाने के लिए की, क्योंकि मुझे स्कूल की फीस भरनी थी, मुझे गाड़ी खरीदनी थी, मुझे घर खरीदना था, लेकिन मैंने बहुत सारी फिल्में मेरे दिल के लिए की. सो ही वाज वेरी प्रैग्मेटिक.
Yeah. So he did transcend that period.
Yeah.
But did you talk about making that transition?
No, he didn't make any transition. It happened because the producers, directors, and very often the actors chose him. कि यार बख्शी साहब के गाने होने चाहिए. And I think the 70s, there was the period. I'm not an expert on Anand Bakshi. I am just a son talking about my father. But what I've read and heard from people is that in the 70s, there was a period when distributors would tell people, producers, के आनंद बख्शी की फिल्म है तो हम खरीद लेंगे.
Right. And that's because his lyrics were also easy.
So I think the credit of that goes to Shailendra, because it was Shailendra who told my dad, D.N. Madhok, his guru. My dad had one guru in the film industry, that is D.N. Madhok. He learned lyrics writing by hearing D.N. Madhok. The second person he learned writing in a folk style was from Shailendra. And it was Shailendra and D.N. Madhok who both told him that Bakshi, तुम उर्दू मीडियम से आए हो, तुम रावलपिंडी से आए हो, तुम उर्दू मत यूज करो गानों में, तुम हिंदी में गाना, हिंदी सरल हिंदुस्तानी में गाना लिखा करो, क्योंकि आपका तुम्हारा गाना पूरे हिंदुस्तान में बजना चाहिए. So the credit of that goes to Shailendra and D.N. Madhok. But I must add over here, when people ask my father that Bakshi साहब, how do you write so simple? आप तो genius हैं, आप कैसे इतना simple लिख लेते हैं, उसका राज क्या है, इसकी secret क्या है? At that time, my father had one reply for everybody over the 30, 40, 50 years that he wrote. He would say, इसमें कुछ genius नहीं है, इसमें कोई skill नहीं है, मैं सिर्फ 8वीं पास हूं और मेरे पास चंद शब्द ही थे हिंदी के मैंने जो पढ़े थे. तो मुझे जो कहना है, मैंने जो सीखा है, जो सुना है, जो पढ़ा है, because he was a voracious reader. मेरे पास चंद शब्द ही हैं हिंदी के जिसमें मुझे उनको पिरोना पड़ता है. तो इसमें कोई जीनियस का काम नहीं है. इट इज माय लिमिटेशन जो आप लोगों को पसंद आ गया है.
देखिए, आपने मेरी प्रॉब्लम एक सॉल्व कर दी. प्रॉब्लम आपने ये सॉल्व कर दी कि मैं ये काफी सोच रहा था कि मैं कहूं कि ना कहूं, कि मुझे कई बार आनंद बख्शी जी के लिरिक्स से और शैलेंद्र के लिरिक्स में एक सिमिलैरिटी इन द सेंस कि दोनों बड़े छोटे सेंटेंसेस, कोई कॉम्प्लिकेटेड वर्ड नहीं, और बहुत जल्दी बात कहते हैं, एक के बाद एक. मेरा जूता है जापानी, ये पतलून इंग्लिस्तानी, सर पे लाल टोपी रूसी.
So simple, so simply written, but so still meaningful.
Very simple. So your father also, you started with Milan, but take you back to 1962. आप मुझे बताइए 62, 63 songs like मैं फिल्म का नाम भूल रहा हूँ.
मेरी तस्वीर लेके क्या करोगे तुम,
मेरी तस्वीर लेकर,
सुपर हिट कवाली.
अभी भी वो एक मेटाफर है.
Yes.
लोग कहते हैं फोटो खींचने, अरे मेरी तस्वीर लेकर क्या करोगे.
तुम
जैसे उसके बाद क्या कह रहे कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, isn't it? तो ये पहले भी बहुत था, जैसे मेरी तस्वीर लेकर क्या करोगे, और उसके आगे देखो चांद आहे भरेगा.
My God, I think that is sheer poetry. I don't know how he never thought he's a poet. He's sheer poetry. That is. He never considered himself a poet. He was always running away from the compliment.
ये हमारे देश में होता है कि अगर आप कुछ ऐसे वर्ड्स ना यूज करें उर्दू के जो किसी को समझ नहीं आए, तो तब तक लगता है पोएट नहीं है.
So I must add something over here, that throughout his life, right from the moment he started getting noticed, a lot of people criticized him for being a tukbandi, कि यार ये tukbandi करता है, ये poet है ही नहीं. Throughout his life, he has faced this so-called allegation कि ये तुकबंदी करता है, ये poet है ही नहीं. But I want your listeners, your viewers to hear this absolutely right now. The very person that those people worshipped, the people who accused my father or considered him tukbandi writer. Tukbandi means a rhymester, just rhyming words. That those people who called him tukbandi writer are the very people who worship Sahir. And Sahir is the person who since 62 onwards was recommending Anand Bakshi to producers and directors right up to Yash Chopra. He told Yash Chopra कि तुम मेरे से ही क्यों लिखवाते हो, तुम आनंद बख्शी से क्यों नहीं लिखवाते. So can you imagine what a irony that you calling a person a Tukbandi person, and the person you're worshipping, Sahir, is recommending this fellow to producers and directors.
ये बात बिल्कुल ठीक है कि तुकबंदी का जो एक एलिगेशन ही मैं कहूंगा, लेकिन जो एक तरह का एक स्नाइड रिमार्क था वो शैलेंद्र के बारे में भी
Snide, yeah.
हाँ, स्नाइड था कि साहब ये क्या पोइट्री है, लेकिन वो याद रहती
He's
है।
worshipped today. He's worshipped today.
दूसरी बात ये कि रियल लाइफ में आपको याद आती है। अब मैं आपको आई विल टेल यू इट्स पर्सनल, वेरी ऑफन आई फाइंड माई सेल्फ इन सिचुएशंस इन माई लाइफ वेयर आई रिलेट टू सम लाइन ऑफ lyrics that I remember. So I did join briefly a media organization, the India Today Group. I'd worked for them earlier for 12 years, but after leaving the Express, I joined them. But 2-3 हफ्ते में गया, मेरा दिल नहीं लग रहा था. So every time I'd walk into the corridors, corporate floor, so in my ear will buzz your father's lines. यहाँ मैं अजनबी हूँ, मैं जो हूँ.
My God, what a song.
And I'd say, and subconsciously I'd be humming it. I'd say, कहाँ से आया? ये early 60s का गाना है, यहाँ मैं अजनबी हूँ, और कोई इतना कोई रोमांटिक गाना नहीं है, लेकिन यहाँ मैं अजनबी हूँ, मैं जो हूँ बस यही हूँ. और फिर वही बात के, तो ये रियल लाइफ सिचुएशंस पे जो इजी लिरिक्स होते हैं, they come back at you. That is true.
तो ये जो आपने जिक्र किया गाने का, ये गाना फिल्म के लिए नहीं लिखा गया था. ये बख्शी साहब ने लिखा था फ्रॉम हिज ओन एक्सपीरियंसेस व्हेन ही केम टू बम्बई फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. तो नेचुरली ही इनिशियली फेल्ट कि मैं फौजी हूं. एंड यू नो व्हाट हैपेंड व्हेन यू आर फौजी in the 1960s and 50s and 70s, 60s, 50s, there was a lot of respect. Not that there is no respect now for Faujis, but at that time they used to salute you, give you a chair, give you food, give you water. आप कोई भी गांव में जाओ, खड़े हो जाते थे लोग आपके लिए. तो he thought, यार मैं तो फौजी हूँ, मैं जहां जाता हूँ मुझे इज्जत मिलती है, तो मुझे बंबई में तो बहुत इज्जत मिलेगी. लेकिन यार no one bothered. He used to always introduce himself saying मैं एक फौजी हूँ, मैं गाने लिखता हूँ. मैं एक फौजी हूँ, मैं गाने लिखता हूँ. And he realized कि कुछ वैल्यू ही नहीं है यहाँ कहने की फौजी. He thought he'll get some more importance. So this line, "Yahan main ajnabi hu," I feel is something which we all experience throughout our lives, whether when we go to a new school or a new college, or we enter a new clan, a new group of people, or a new office, we do feel out of place. And I remember when I asked Anandji Bhai, Kalanji Anandji Bhai, that tell me something, how would you describe my father after working with him for so many years, almost 34 films, and knowing him for so many years? Can you describe him in a song? He said, "Haan, yahan main ajnabi hu." So I said, give me a reason why do you describe Bakshi Saab with these lines? He said, क्योंकि आपके फादर के साथ हमने इतना काम किया, हमने इतनी सिटिंग्स की, हमने इतना अच्छा काम किया, लेकिन आपके फादर आते थे, गाना लिखते थे चुपचाप और चले जाते थे. He never hanged with us. He would not hang with anybody. Same for LP, same for RD, same for SD. He would write and move on. He was like an outsider, even with us, even though we worked on 34 films almost, but he was always like an outsider with us. And with people in general, he always thought he doesn't belong here.
हर generation के लिए he wrote profound words for every generation. 70s, for example, जिंदगी के सफर में गुजर जाते हैं जो काम, वो फिर नहीं आते.
Yeah.
Now that has a stanza which again I've used sometimes, very often in my workplace with people. That what happens when you start getting suspicious, when you lose trust. तो उसमें भी लाइन है. ये सब मुझे याद है, आपकी बुक में नहीं है. जिंदगी शक दोस्ती का दुश्मन है, अपने दिल में इसे घर बनाने न दो, कल तड़पना पड़े याद में जिनकी, रोक लो तो उन्हें दूर जाने न दो. So these were very practical. So without the use of long sentences or complicated turn of phrase, this was very profound lyrics.
Yeah. I remember when this song was written for the movie, of course, but he was also inspired by a true story of a friend of his, a very dear friend who had divorced his wife out of suspicion. And then when he found out that she was not having an affair with the person that he had accused her of having an affair, he went back to her to apologize and ask her to join, come back into his life. And she refused, and he committed suicide. So that impacted him a lot. And when the situation came up, he put that emotion into the song.
I see.
So what I've tried to do, Shekhar, and you must have definitely picked on it for sure because of the depth with which you read and think. You also read the subtext of what I've written. I have tried to convey, without saying it, that when you read an incident of his life or a philosophy of his life, then I have tried to put a song so that people realize that हम जो करते हैं, हम जो लिखते हैं, हम जो कहते हैं, हम जो फैक्ट्री बनाते हैं, हम जो जूता बनाते हैं, हम जो भी करते हैं जिंदगी में काम, something has happened in our life and it pours out into our work. That's why you will see I have mentioned some incident and then I put a song which kind of relates to that.
Right. So again, आया है मुझे फिर याद वो जालिम गुजरा जमाना, मुकेश की आवाज है, क्या बात। तो नेवर से ये सब मिलन के पहले की फिल्में।
Yeah, and they are fabulous song. I personally feel that after I discovered, see, I did not know Anand Bakshi. I knew Daddy. वो मेरे डैडी थे मेरे लिए। हमको क्या मतलब होगा डैडी से, स्कूल की फीस, गाड़ी चाहिए रात को बाहर जाने के लिए, पिकनिक पे जाना है, या मम्मी को कहीं लेके जाना है तो गाड़ी चाहिए या ड्राइवर चाहिए, जो भी चाहिए। I had to discover the lyricist, and that took me 18 years. Trying to, because people would come up to me and tell me, "Arey, your dad wrote that antara, this mukhada, he changed my life, he wrote this line there," and I was clueless. I didn't know what they're talking about because I was not a fan of him. He was dad for me. That's it, daddy. So I had to discover my father. And when I discovered him, I found out something, that the songs he wrote in the 60s are far superior to his songs of 70s which people are singing today also. You must go and hear Anand Bakshi's 60s songs. They are awesome.
Because from the same,
which you just said,
from the same film Devar, there is also Baharon ne mera chaman loot kar khizaon ko ilzam kyun de diya. It is as profound as can be in very simple words. So इसकी जो कहते हैं कवि क्या कहना चाह रहा है, यहाँ पे वो कॉम्प्लिकेशन नहीं कि कवि क्या कहना चाह रहा है, आपको समझ आता है सीधा. But will you agree with me and my colleague Shreya Sharma, who is I think in my newsroom the only person who knows better than me, more than me.
Oh yeah, he's a big fan of Bakshi Sahab. I know him, man.
So the only one who knows more about cricket and about Hindi film music than me, I have to say that.
Yes.
So he tells me that Amar Prem is the big hallmark of Anand Bakshi's talent. That Amar Prem, working with Rajesh Khanna and Sharmila Tagore at their peaks, S.T. Burman at his best in a Bengali milieu. So tell us about Amar Prem. And I know that many people will not remember, पर ये क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे चिंगारी कोई भड़के.
So Chingari Koi Bhadke, my father's favorite song. I have seen my father cry while singing the song at night in our wedding parties or birthday parties or film gathering of friends only, not publicly, just gathering of friends and family. He would start crying while singing the song. It was his favorite song. And it took me many years, only after he passed away, I realized why it was his favorite song. Because if you read the last chapter of the book about how his notes from his diary, where he has mentioned his struggle to give up smoking and pan tambaku, you will realize that this man was struggling all his life to give it up. And what is he saying in that song? चिंगारी कोई भड़के तो सावन उसे बुझाए. सावन जो आग लगाए, तो अगर जो आग मैं खुद लगा रहा हूं अपने शरीर में, उससे मैं खुद नहीं बुझाऊंगा तो कौन बुझाएगा उसे? And that's why I realized that he suffered. He knew, like he said, that the only person in this whole world who has given me more trouble, the most trouble is myself. That was his very famous, he used to say, कि मैंने ही अपने आप को सबसे ज्यादा तकलीफ दी है जिंदगी में. Because it was a struggle to give up smoking and pan tambaku, and also his struggle to get out of this phobia of being alone. He suffered from this thing of being alone. He couldn't be alone. He wanted mom or me or my brother or my home house help. He wanted someone to be home always with us, and we never understood that. So we would fight with him. I would argue with him, I want to go out, I want to go down and play, I want to go for a movie. I mean, you can't stop me. And we never understood. So I never understood. I never knew my dad's got this phobia. It's only when he passed away, I went through his diary, I came across notes, he had made. I felt so horrible. Okay, oh my God, it is my immaturity. And I think we children need to understand our parents much, much better.
So in the same film, different genres of songs. In the same film, he wrote Bada Nut Khat Hai Ye Kishan Kanhaiya, Kya Kare Yashoda Maiya, still sung sung also.
There's a
Also,
very there's a very interesting story behind the song. I think when the song was being recorded, no, sorry, that's another song from Aradhana. Sorry. No. But I must tell you something about S.D. Burman. You know, when people compliment Bakshi Saab for writing in context to the lyrics and in context to the story and characterization so well, fitting the story and situation and characterization, the credit also goes to S.D. Burman. My father, you know how he trained to become a lyricist? वो जब आर्मी में थे और बैरिक्स में अपना फिल्म देखने जाते थे ऑन अ वीकडे, दे यूज्ड टू गेट अ वीकली ऑफ, तो जब वो शाम को वापस आते थे, रात को बैरिक्स में वापस आते थे, वो उसी फिल्म के गाने वापस लिखते थे अपने शब्दों में. He used to rewrite the songs of the entire songs of that film because now he knew the story and situation. So that's how he practiced lyrics writing, by rewriting the songs of all the movies that he saw. And it was S.D. Burman who would keep telling him, Bakshi, कहानी सुनो, कहानी सुनो, कहानी सुनो, कहानी में ही लिरिक्स हैं फिल्म के. लिरिक्स कहीं बाहर से नहीं आते, कहानी से ही आते हैं, कहानी सुना करो ठीक से. So S.D. Burman is a very big, perhaps a contributor to my dad's skill of being able to pull the lyrics out of a story and characterization.
So, in fact, he wrote some great lyrics for S.D. Burman also for his voice. So, in Amar Prem, Doli mein bithai ke kahar. Again, that one not many people may remember today, but in the context of the film, in the context of Shabla Tagore, who was the central character, it was quite a song. And these were remarkable words also.
Yeah.
And sad.
Yeah. Remarkable work they have done together.
And the other thing I remember, I'm sure he wrote other lyrics for S.D. Burman's voice, but was Aradhana. Now, when I say, and many people say that Rajesh Khanna was made also by Anand Bakshi, people forget that Aradhana, was it 1969 or 19? That was those films, two films, Aradhana and Do Raste. They made Rajesh Khanna, then Anand, and the rest came later. So Aradhana, the song in S.D. Burman's voice.
Oh yeah, Kahe Ko Roye.
Aradhana. That was the song. And again, the one line from there, which I always remember, which is, Diya toote to hai mati, jale to ye jyoti bane. Gire aansu to hai pani, ruke to ye moti bane. How much more profound do you want poetry to be? Yeah. Unless you insist that use Latin or use Urdu or Persian or Sanskrit that I don't understand.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Is there a backstory to that song also?
No, I'm not aware of any backstory, but I do know that there's after the movie got very successful, Shakti Samanta came to our house, and he brought a brand new Chevrolet car, and he said, Bakshi Saab, this car is for you because of what we have, the songs you have given me, the film is such a big hit. I want to give this car to you. It was a Chevrolet Bel Air model, brand new car. Yeah, it came. Along with this car came the car dealer Praveen Chokshi from Santa Cruz, Bombay. They came together, and my dad refused to take it. He said, "मैं लूँगा, मुझे गाड़ी पसंद है, और अभी तो मेरे पास पैसे भी हैं, मैं लूँगा, लेकिन मैं गिफ्ट नहीं लूँगा, मैं इसके पैसे दूँगा." And he was very generous. He was very understanding. He accepted the payment for the car. So that's Bakshi Saab. Okay, किसी से favor नहीं लेना.
But I'm interested in what you're saying, that he plucked the lyrics out of the story.
Yeah.
So in the same film, Aradhana, Roop Tera Mastana.
Oh yeah, that song. Yeah.
That was so central to the story.
Yeah. So he and so there's a shop in Bandra called Sweet Melody. They sell music, Hindi film music, and other electronic stuff. He and my dad were very good friends, Hari Mehra and my dad. So they had a habit of, my dad would pick up Hari Mehra. They would go to Khar station. There was a Panwala opposite the station. I think it's still there, KK Mishra or something. They would buy the pan, and then they would come back from Sacred Heart School. That lane of Sacred Heart School which joins to SV Road and comes back to Linking Road. And over there, in one of those gullies, suddenly my father, they saw a very pretty girl. बहुत खूबसूरत एक लड़की गुजर रही थी. तो या तो मेरे डैडी ने या हरी मेहरा जी ने कहा कि यार अरे यार देखो क्या चेहरा पाया इस लड़की ने, क्या चेहरा पाया, वाह, like what a beautiful girl. So dad said, अरे एक मिनट गाड़ी रुकते हैं. And my dad had a habit when he was not carrying his pen, when he was not carrying a diary, तो वो 555 सिगरेट उनका फेवरेट था थ्रू आउट हिज लाइफ. 555 ही पीते थे वो. तो 555 का सिगरेट का पैकेट हमेशा लेके घूमते थे और पेन साथ में. तो सिगरेट के पैकेट के ऊपर लिख देते थे जो भी थॉट आया दिमाग में, तो उन्होंने कुछ थॉट लिखा और गाड़ी चला के वापस घर आ गए। 6-7 महीने बाद जब फिल्म लगी तो दे वेंट टू फॉर द प्रीमियर टुगेदर, और जब ये गाना शुरू हुआ तो दैट टाइम माय फादर टोल्ड हरी मेरा, ये देख, याद है तेको, हमने लकीर देखी, बहुत खूबसूरत, उसका बड़ा अच्छा चेहरा था, ये अंतरा मैंने तो, ये मुखड़ा मैंने तब लिखा था, रूप तेरा मस्ताना प्यार मेरा दीवाना, भूल हमसे ना हो जाए।
और सैक्सोफोन तो लाते ही थे एस.टी. बर्मन with Manhari Singh.
Yeah.
So that became, and the other one, the opening song, मेरे सपनों की रानी कब आएगी तू. From that.
Oh yeah. I wish I knew the story behind that, because that song,
film was
iconic.
That film was so much a part of our growing up that we were all taken up by the fact that when this song was going on, besides other things, Shamla Tagore is reading a book in the train, and we were also thrilled to see that she was reading South by Java Head by Alistair MacLean, with all of us reading from Circular Library by renting them at, I think, 2 hours a day or something.
Yeah.
So that sets the period. And then he came to the contemporary period. I don't know how many people today would be conscious that some of the big hit lyrics, like say Taal, for your father?
Yeah, Taal, या दिल तो पागल है, दिल वाले दुनिया ले जाएंगे, यादें, मुझसे दोस्ती करोगे, all contemporary films.
In fact, even the name of the book, नगमे किस्से बातें यादें, ये 2001 की film है. So 2001, यादें,
सुभाष घाई से.
Yeah. So why did you choose this as your title?
क्योंकि ये गाना बख्शी साहब को, सुभाष जी को बहुत पसंद है. I think it's among Subhash ji's favorite songs of Anand Bakshi. And I tried to translate when Taal was being, when Yadin was being made, I was given the task to sit in the editing, and we needed to translate this song, into English for the subtitles. And I asked my father, okay, Dad, can you translate this and give me? ये आपने क्या लिखा है? So he said, बेटा ये गाना translate नहीं हो सकता, ये lyrics translate नहीं हो सकती. These are untransferable. So I mean, I was very fond of this song, and when I was writing this book out, I never had a title for the book. I had a million titles, of this book. But I think just about when I started writing the final draft, that 1 month I spent 12 to 14 hours a day writing this final draft of 350, 400 pages. That's when the title struck me, and I thought, oh my God, मैं क्या लिख रहा हूँ? ये 1 महीने से मैं लिख क्या रहा हूँ? मैं बख्शी साहब के नगमे लिख रहा हूँ, मैं बख्शी साहब के यादें लिख रहा हूँ, मैं बख्शी साहब के किस्से लिख रहा हूँ, और मैं बख्शी साहब की बातें लिख रहा हूँ. तो इससे अच्छा टाइटल तो हो ही नहीं सकता इस किताब का. तो that's when I came up with the title, and I suggested to Penguin, and they were absolutely understanding, and they said, oh my God, this is amazing, because you get a title from a song, and also to make sense, absolute sense for the book. I mean, it's just gold. It was just gold,
And he wrote. Sorry, go ahead.
No, continue.
He also wrote some fun stuff. For example, a more recent film, एक दूजे के लिए, इसमें सारे फिल्मों के गाने डाले थे, सारे फिल्मों के नाम डाले थे, मेरे जीवन साथी, प्यार की.
Yeah. So I asked him about that, and he told me कि
मैं
So he said that मुझे लक्ष्मीकांत ने बहुत हेल्प किया था ये गाना लिखने में. It was a teamwork between Anand Bakshi and Lakshmikant Pyara, because my dad didn't remember so many names, I'll tell you something very amazing about Anand Bakshi, which nobody knows is mentioned in the book. I don't know whether I mentioned in the book or not. My father, after he wrote a song, and you can speak to the director like Subhash Ghai or around to validate this. After Bakshi Sahab wrote a song, and he gave it to Subhash Ghai or Shakti Samanta, or to Kalyanji Anandji, or to H.D. Burman for the recording, and if he was to lose that paper, if these directors or the music composers were to lose that paper, Anand Bakshi would not be able to recreate it. He would completely forget his songs. When they would come on TV, he would hear it for a while and say, "Are to mera gana hai. Are to mera gana hai." So I realized very late in life that my father goes back to ground zero. He erases, he has no memory of what he writes, and because he keeps no memory of what he writes, he is able to recreate the different lyrics on the same situations over the last 42 years. So I think it's important that you do not be aware of what you do. You should not be conscious of your work. You just do your work and leave it and move on. That's what he was. He would do it and move on. He would not remember what he has done. After 2 hours, if the director told him कि paper घूम गया, बख्शी साहब क्या लिखा था, he would not know. So he would not tear his diary. You know, when a diary gets over, he's used thousands of diaries over his 45 years. He would not get into the diary till the recording is done. He would keep the diary कि खत्म हो गई है, लेकिन शायद इसकी जरूरत पड़ जाए वापस. So he kept no memory of his work.
So I'll take some questions from my colleagues also. So Purva Mandhani wants to know, and she knows that you are a fitness freak also.
Yeah.
To know, your father gave us great memorable songs, but what was he? What do you think about the song lyrics of today's times? It's also a question that Rohit Tiwari wants.
This is the same question that was asked of Anand Bakshi, and I'll give you Anand Bakshi's answer. They asked him, Bakshi साहब, आपके गाने आजकल कुछ अच्छे नहीं हैं. आजकल फिल्मों में गाने अच्छे नहीं लिखे जा रहे. 90s की बात हो रही है. This sometime before दिलवाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे. तो he said, Bakshi साहब, ये क्वालिटी क्यों गिर गई है गानों की? He said, देखिए, 30-40 साल में हवा बदल गई है, खाना बदल गया है, जो हम अनाज उगाते हैं वो बदल गया है, रिश्ते बदल गए हैं, दोस्ती बदल गई है, तो कहानियां भी बदलेंगी. कहानियों में जो रिश्तों की बात हो रही है वो बदलेंगे. तो मैं कहां से लाऊंगा मीनिंगफुल लिरिक्स? यार अच्छे लिरिक्स जब तक मुझे आप कोई अच्छी कहानी नहीं सुनाओगे, क्योंकि मैं लिरिसिस्ट हूं, मैं पोएट नहीं हूं. मैं आप जो मुझे सुनाओगे मैं उसी को रिफ्लेक्ट करूंगा. I remember I asked my father one day, Dad, this was when I just joined Mr. Ghai as an assistant director. I started understanding what is filmmaking, how actors, directors work, how directors and lyricists work. So I told my dad, ऐसा क्यों है कि शक्ति समंता, सुभाष घाई, यश चोपड़ा, XYZ names, आपने इन लोगों को इतने अच्छे गाने दिए हैं, और ये XYZ names, ABC names, आपने इनको अच्छे गाने नहीं दिए. आपने पैसे उतने लिए होंगे, गाने भी आपने लिखे, तो फर्क क्यों है आपके गानों में? तो he got very upset with me. He said, उल्लू के पट्टे, तू एक बात समझ. He said, उल्लू के पट्टे एक बात समझ. ये जो तू नाम ले रहा है ना, सुभाष घाई, यश चोपड़ा, शक्ति समंता वगैरह वगैरह, मैंने इनके लिए अच्छे गाने लिखे. इन लोगों ने मेरे पास अच्छी कहानियां लाए. ये लोगों ने मुझे अपनी जिंदगी के अच्छे एनेक्डोट्स सुनाए. इन्होंने मुझे इंस्पायर किया. मैं कहां से गाना लाऊंगा? मैं तो शीशा हूं. तुम मेरे पे जितनी जो फेंकोगे मैं वापस फेंकूंगा तुम पे. So this is Anand Bakshi. This is how he wrote. He used to always say, I'm not a genius. There is no skill in this. कहानी में गाना है. कहानी ही मुझे इंस्पायर करती है.
So I have a question from Swati Bhattacharya, who's Chief Communication and Brand Officer in Bajaj Group. She says Anand Bakshi ji had worked extensively with both R.D. Burman and Lakshmikant Pyarelal. With whom did you enjoy working more and why?
I think he enjoyed most working with Lakshmikant, because they had a great teamwork. Like Bakshi Sahab would constantly call him and say, "Arey Lakshmi, sun मैंने क्या लिखा है?" And Lakshmi ji would hear, "Arey Bakshi ji, बहुत अच्छा लिखा है. इसको आगे बढ़ाओ. So there was a lot of encouragement. See, what does a man need when he's writing in isolation of his bedroom? You know, he needs someone to give him feedback. The children can't give him, the wife can't give him, the house domestic help can't give you. Who is that person who he was bouncing off his lyrics with? Lakshmikant. Because Pyare ji was in the orchestra, in the studios, recording the songs. So I think it is that teamwork of Lakshmi ji, and always willing to listen to Bakshi Sahab when he would call him and tell him, "Ki, dekh, maine kuch likha hai. What do you think? Kya sochta hai tu iske bare mein?" And do you know what they used to do? In the 60s, in the 60s and 70s, when they used to meet and they used to go on long drives. Lakshmi ji used to call it long drive. "Arey Bakshi Sahab, bahut acha likha hai, chalo long drive pe chalte hain." And he would either pick up my father, or my father would go in 1964 Fiat and pick him up, and they would go to Worli Seaface, discussing the song and creating the lyrics and the mukhra and the dhun, and come back with a song. And it was called Long Drive Pe Chalte Hain. This was Lakshmi ji and Bakshi Sahab's combination. As for R.D. Burman, the next person he really enjoyed working with, I asked my dad, सबसे अच्छी बात क्या है R.D. Burman में? आपने कम से कम, he had done 99 films with R.D. Burman, 100 films. He said, R.D. Burman की पंचम की, never use the word R.D. Burman, he said पंचम की सबसे अच्छी बात यह है कि उसको कोई भी कुछ भी बोले ना, whether प्रोड्यूसर बोले या डायरेक्टर बोले या आनंद बख्शी बोले कि यार ये मजा नहीं आया तेरे धुन में, अरे अच्छा नहीं लगा आपको, ये करो बनाते हैं. एक और बनाते हैं, एक और बनाते हैं. He was a guy who was ready. He was full of enthusiasm. He never felt insulted or humiliated or belittled if the director, or the lyricist rejected his tune. He was always willing to create something additional. That is the reason why he loved working at RD, because he felt he can speak his heart out to this man and get him to do his more than his very best. These are assumptions I'm making because of what my dad told me.
So who did he have trouble with, if I may ask you?
He had trouble with. I'll tell you an example. I'll give an example of a director came one day and came with his team of music composers, and they kept rejecting Bakshi Saab's mukhras, whatever he was writing. So my dad kept writing because he has to satisfy the customer. He would say, "कि मुझे ये तो I'm a paid hand. I'm doing a paid job. I have to satisfy my customer, the producer and the director." So he kept changing the lyrics, and they kept rejecting his mukhras, both of them, the composer and him. Finally, the director, he happened to be sitting right below the trophy of Jab Jab Phul Khile. The trophy of Jab Jab Phul Khile was on a shelf higher than his shoulder. They're sitting on the ground and working on the harmonium and tabla. So he told my father, he told Bakshi Saab, मजा नहीं आ रहा आज आप जो लिख रहे हो. ये देखिए ना, ये जो फिल्म है जब जब फूल खिले, इसमें क्या गाना लिखा है आपने, यहाँ मैं अजनबी हूँ, मैं जो हूँ बस यही हूँ. बख्शी ऐसा कोई गाना दीजिए ना आप. तो my dad shut his book. Now when Anand Bakshi would shut his book, it was a sign that now it's time for you to go. I don't want to work with you. So that is the first sign that he doesn't want to work with these people. He shut his book and he told them, okay, if you want a song like this, you bring me a story better than this and I will give you a song better than this. अभी तुम जाओ, मेरे को तुम्हारे साथ काम ही नहीं करना. So that's for him. Even if Aditya Chopra, I remember once there was a sitting and Aditya Chopra and Yash Chopra both arrived for a movie. It's Mohabbatein, and the director of Mohabbatein is Aditya Chopra, not Yash Chopra. But Yash Chopra was also giving his opinions when Bakshi Saab was writing the song. And what Adi would say is nice. Yash would say, "नहीं Bakshi Saab, थोड़ा इसमें change कीजिए, थोड़ा इसको बदल दीजिए." So finally, my dad got fed up. He told Yash and he told Adi that आप दोनों में से ये फिल्म का डायरेक्टर कौन है? तो आदि से मैं डायरेक्टर हूं इस फिल्म का. He said, ठीक है, then I will listen to you. I will not listen to him because I don't listen to producers. I listen to directors because my work is with the directors who bring me the stories. So that's Anand Bakshi. He would gel with somebody who would understand why he's asking for the lyrics to be the way he's written it, and he would accept a change only if you can have a better argument that why is this not working for you. Give me a point from the story point of view कि ये क्यों नहीं आपको जम रहा. Then he would give it. So, but I don't think he had trouble working with any composers because he worked with 96 composers.
So if I look at his films in the 1970s, big hit. This is the list in your book. So see how many have Rajesh Khanna. Not everybody, but most people will figure out how many. But these films had great music. An Milo Sajna, Geet was Rajendra Kumar. Ishq Par Zor Nahi was Dharmendra. Very young, very romantic, very non-mara-mari Dharmendra still.
Yeah.
Fox, Jeevan Mrityu, Jhilmil Sitaron Ka Aangan Hoga.
Beautiful.
Rasta Tavan Hoga. Kati Patang, again a great Rajesh Khanna film. Which one from Kati Patang is your favorite?
I think the song, the Kati Patang title song, I think is extremely.
मेरी जिंदगी है क्या मैं
Kati Patang hai.
Kati Patang hai.
That song I think encompasses the entire story. पूरी कहानी की story है उस फिल्म में. पूरी फिल्म की कहानी उस गाने में.
वो गुलशन नंदा का नॉवल था मुझे याद है.
Yes.
लेकिन उसमें और भी गाने थे. ये शाम मस्तानी.
Oh my God, songs are playing even today. I mean 14, 15, 16-year-old are singing that song. ये जो मोहब्बत है, ये उनका है काम. महबूब का जो लेते हुए नाम. So there were lots and lots in that period. There was also Dushman. Dushman
yes. Was Rajesh Khanna and Mumtaz.
Yeah.
Right? And Dushman had one song which if it was played today with trigger a lot of young people, definitely a lot of young women, because it is probably the most misogynistic lyrics ever written. But they were written for a drunken truck driver who ends up killing somebody.
Yeah.
Vada tera vada.
Yeah. Oh my
Would you-
God. Yeah.
And some of those lines would not be, I think they'll lead to trouble today. But did you ever ask your father, or did anybody raise with you that what was the perspective?
Of that song?
Ah,
I think a lot of people asked. I mean, he was complimented a lot for writing that particular song in the language that a truck driver uses. You know.
हाँ,
You know that,
क्योंकि बोला कि किसी शायर से पूछो गजल हो या रुबाई, भरी है शायरी में तुम्हारी बेवफाई, कुछ फर्क नहीं।
even तेरी जुल्फ है या सड़क का मोड़ है ये.
मोड़ है ये, हाँ.
That's a truck driver. He knows सड़क and he knows modes.
हाँ, बिल्कुल. So once again it was plucked out of the story.
Yeah. Because he's always say, I'm a lyricist. मैं तो कहानी सुन के ही मेरा दिमाग चलता है. His exact words were, कहानी सुन के ही दिमाग चलता है. That's his words.
So did he write to tunes, or did he write to the story?
In his words, now I'm quoting him. Now I'm quoting Anand Bakshi's words, and which is in the biography also. He would say कि बहुत बार जब मैं लिखता हूं तो धुन साथ में ही आती है. तो मैं हमेशा जब भी लिखते लिखते जब धुन साथ में आती है, क्योंकि I remember my dad used to whistle while writing. I never understood why is he whistling. He's whistling and he's writing. He would whistle and write. Then when I started reading his his quotes and his features, I realized that what he had said was that मैं जब लिखता हूं तो धुन साथ में ही पैदा होती है, क्योंकि मैं मीटर में लिखता हूं. क्योंकि वो बचपन से, if you read the biography, the very first initial chapter, you realize that he was singing, writing, composing the dhun from the teacher. बचपन से ही वो मुखड़े verses, just nazams, he was writing them, he was singing them and composing them, because to sing you need to compose. You can't sing without a dhun. So it was inborn. It was an inborn talent because of his 17 years in Punjab. The exposure to Punjabi music and to the Punjab culture. So he has said in his words कि मैं जब लिखता हूं तो वो धुन साथ में ही आती, काफी बार धुन साथ में आती है, और मैं हमेशा इसको सजेस्ट करता हूं कंपोजर को. सजेस्ट करने के बाद मैं हमेशा कंपोजर पे छोड़ देता था कि whether he keeps it, he rejects it, or he tweaks it. As simple as that.
So I know we can talk for hours and hours, and we will at some point when this wretched pandemic is over, and maybe over your dad's favorite whiskey. Whatever it was, but since this has to come to an end, I will also tell you something that makes me remember my late father.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
And that is your reference to the song "Roothe Saiyan Hamare Saiyan Kyun Roothe." ये भी 1962 या 63 की फिल्म का, I think they were का यश है. तो वो song up for 6 decades, that is one of the favorite songs of dancing eunuchs, hijras. So my father used to manage a cooperative store for the government. So a bunch of these people came to ask for their tribute, and they came and asked for more, and my father he was always on a short fuse. So like something. So these people, to humor him, they began singing. I was, I think, 5 years old at that time. Roothe Saiyan Hamare Saiyan Kyun Roothe. So I was reading this book, and reminded me of that incident in good old Bhutinda.
Wow, my God, amazing.
So
I must, before we go, I must mention something very important. My father, I mean, maybe once or twice in his whole lifetime, he must have called us and told us कि देखो मैंने क्या लिखा है. Because we were children and we were the writer, and we didn't know what his profession. He never brought us into his world, because he used to always keep family and professions alag. In the 90s, he called me one day. He said, बेटा इधर आओ, मैंने एक कुछ चीज लिखी है, सुनो, और ये तुमको जिंदगी में हमेशा काम आएगी, इसको कभी भूलना नहीं. ये जिंदगी भर मरते दम तक इसको भूलना नहीं और ये हमेशा जिंदगी में काम आएगी. एंड ही नरेटेड द मुखड़ा ऑफ अ सॉन्ग टू मी. वो फिल्म नहीं चली, वो गाना नहीं चला, आप मुखड़ा सुनिए. He said to me, मुश्किल में है कौन किसी का. इसे बेटा समझो ये बात को. मुश्किल में है कौन किसी का, समझो इस राज को. मुश्किल में है कौन किसी का, समझो इस राज को, लेकर अपना नाम खुद को आवाज दो. Always be self-dependent. Never depend on anybody. He taught me the lesson I will never forget.
Well, I think on that note, we can call an end to this. We can go on forever indulging ourselves. Thank you very much. And I have to also say that thank you as a fan and as a follower of Hindi film music. Also, as someone who's learned so much from it, that this book is a great gift. Also, because as I read this with each song, I remember some part of my life growing up, because that's how we associate with time.
I'm so glad I added those songs, his nazams, his mukhras and antaras, wherever I felt they need to be added. So glad.
Thank you much. All the best to you. And
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And thank you to all your listeners, the viewers for,
thank you.
hearing us.
How do you keep fit in the lockdown time? In fact, one of my colleagues, Purva Mandhani, wants to know.
Oh, yeah. So I lift weights at home. I've got about 5 to 6 kilos of weights. I lift those twice a week. I skate. I'm an inline skating, skating, roller skating. I do roller skating once a week. I bicycle 7 days a week. At 6 in the morning, I cycle in Bandra. They allow it. There's no problem. I wear my mask and I cycle about 45 minutes every single day. And I walk at least 1 hour every evening. Because my father taught me, he told me कि तुम अपने शरीर को जितनी तकलीफ दोगे, तुम्हारा शरीर तुमको उतना ही आराम देगा.
Kya baat hai. I think that's a very good lesson, and you seem to have learned it well, Rakesh. Thank you
very much. Thank you.
You are blessed, and I'm so blessed to have had this conversation.
Yeah, I'm feeling blessed too that I can reach out to your viewers. Thank you. Bye.
The Print Off the Cuff, presented by IIFL Wealth and Asset Management, corporate partner AU Small Finance Bank, in association with global insurance brokers, airline partner SpiceJet, in alliance with Indraprasth Apollo Hospitals.